MTA now says there were 1.2 million fewer cars in the congestion pricing zone between January 5th and the end of last month. And while we see fewer cars, yes, it says more people are still going into the zone using public transportation or walking.
The MTA, as we know, desperately needs the money from the $9 toll to drive below 60th Street in Manhattan. But there are concerns about what happens if the Trump administration finds a way to end congestion pricing.
Lots to unravel here. Eyewitness reporter NJ Burkett live in Midtown with our lead story tonight. Newt.
Yeah, right, Bill, just inside the congestion zone here at Columbus Circle, but pretty much wherever you go, the impact is obvious. Well, tonight, the MTA chairman says he's optimistic about the future of all of this, but his agency could find itself in a tough spot.
After 1 month, traffic is moving faster through Midtown, downtown, crosstown, and through the tunnels. According to the MTA, traffic in Manhattan south of 60th Street was down by 1.2 million vehicles in January. The MTA is depending on the new tolls to raise $15 billion to maintain and upgrade the transit system. But it's not enough. MTA Chairman Janno Lieber urged state lawmakers to find at least another $33 billion for the agency's upcoming capital plan.
We had a $55 billion capital program. It's expiring. It's not a secret. And it is a little bit of a mystery to me that every time the MTA capital program comes up, we treat it like, oh my God, they need a bailout.
Lawmakers grilled Lieber on whether the MTA was doing enough to fight fare evasion and toll evasion, which is costing the agency hundreds of millions of dollars a year alone.
We are fighting back on fare evasion, and you know, I'm sick of people acting like the MTA is somehow letting money pour out. That is not the game we're playing.
But there are added concerns that New York could lose federal transit funding if it does not assist in mass deportations. And the MTA can't even count on congestion pricing tolls because President Trump is critical of the plan. Governor Kathy Hochul sounded tentative when interviewed on morning television.
I have to be able to convince him, and I'll do my best.
A recent survey found that among those who drive infrequently, 66% approve. Although statewide support is soft, 27% approve, but 47% do not. And city residents, 37% to 52%. But when asked whether they'd prefer higher taxes or higher fares instead, 59% said President Trump should keep congestion pricing. Tonight, Lieber sounded hopeful.
I'm optimistic that all the players are going to continue to cooperate, but obviously we're in a period of tumult in the federal government. The dust hasn't settled, and we will be ready to deal with whatever does happen.
Well, Lieber points to two things. Transportation funding, he says, has generally been a bipartisan issue in Washington. And he said state lawmakers today seem to get it, that you can't run a 100-year-old transit system into the ground.